Ever agreed to a tiny favor, only to find yourself roped into something huge? Like, you say yes to watering a friend's plant for a weekend, and next thing you know, you're their designated pet sitter for a month-long trip. If that sounds familiar, you've experienced what psychologists call the Commitment Cascade. It's a fascinating and powerful psychological process where one small yes triggers a chain reaction, leading to much bigger commitments down the line. It's the reason why that free trial can turn into a yearly subscription, or why a simple I agree can lead to a major life change. Today, we're going to dive deep into how this cascade works, where you see it in everyday life, and most importantly, how to recognize it so you can make choices that truly align with your values, not just your previous actions. At the heart of the Commitment Cascade is a core principle from Dr. Robert Cialdini's groundbreaking work on influence, commitment, and consistency. Humans have a deep-seated need to be, and to appear, consistent with what we have already done. Once we make a choice or take a stand, we encounter personal and interpersonal pressures to behave consistently with that commitment. Why? Because consistency is associated with personal and intellectual strength. It's a mental shortcut. Instead of re-evaluating every decision, we just stick with our initial choice. This is where the cascade begins. It's closely related to another well-known persuasion tactic, the foot in the door technique. This technique shows that if you can get someone to agree to a small, trivial request, they are far more likely to agree to a larger, more substantial request later. The small yes opens the door for the big yes. So, how does this cascade actually flow? It's a step-by-step process. Step 1 is the small, initial commitment. This is the hook. It has to be easy, low-effort, and almost a no-brainer to agree to. Think about signing an online petition for a cause you mildly support, downloading a free ebook in exchange for your email, or simply liking a post. It costs you almost nothing in terms of time, money, or energy. But psychologically, something important has just happened. This leads to step 2, the self-perception shift. After you've performed that small action, your brain starts to adjust your self-image to align with it. You're not just a person who signed a petition, you're now a person who cares about environmental issues. You're not just someone who downloaded a freebie, you're a person interested in improving your productivity. You start to see yourself as someone who is helpful, committed, or aligned with that particular idea or brand. You've essentially created a new label for yourself, even if it's subconscious. Then comes step 3, the consistency drive. This is where the real pressure kicks in. Now that you see yourself as that kind of person, you feel a strong internal pull to act in ways that are consistent with that new identity. To do otherwise would create something called cognitive dissonance, that uncomfortable mental tension we feel when our beliefs and actions don't match. To avoid this discomfort, we'd rather escalate our commitment than admit our initial action was trivial or mistaken. Your brain wants to keep your story about yourself straight and simple. And that brings us to the final step, escalation. The requests start getting bigger. The organization that got you to sign the petition now asks for a small donation. The company that gave you the free ebook now offers you a paid course. The friend you did a small favor for now asks for a much bigger one. Because you're already on board and want to remain consistent with your new self-image, you're much more likely to say yes again. This cycle can repeat, with each commitment larger than the last, creating that snowball effect, or cascade. From a petition to a donation, from a donation to volunteering, from volunteering to becoming a full-time advocate. It all started with one tiny, seemingly insignificant yes. Several psychological mechanisms fueled this powerful cascade. As we mentioned, Cialdini's principle of commitment and consistency is the main driver. He found that commitments are most effective when they are active, public, effortful, and freely chosen. When you write something down or state your commitment publicly, the effect is magnified. Another key mechanism is self-perception theory. This theory suggests that we often deduce our own attitudes and beliefs by observing our own behavior, much like how we would observe others. We think, I must really believe in this, because I keep doing things to support it. We infer our internal state from our external actions. Then there's the escalation of commitment, also known as the sunk cost fallacy. As we invest more time, money, or effort into something, we become more reluctant to abandon it, even if it's no longer the rational choice. We feel like we've already come this far, and stopping now would mean all our previous efforts were wasted. This feeling of sunk costs makes it harder and harder to break the cascade, as each step feels like a bigger investment we need to protect. You see the commitment cascade everywhere, used for both good and ill. In marketing, it's a classic strategy. A free sample of a product leads to buying a trial size. You enjoy that, so you buy the full-size version. Before you know it, you're a loyal customer with a monthly subscription. The initial, no-risk yes to the free sample cascaded into a long-term financial commitment. Social and political movements use it too. Might start with a request to put a small sticker on your car. A few weeks later, you're asked if you'd be willing to put a larger, but still tasteful, sign in your yard. Having already identified yourself as a supporter, you're more likely to agree. From there, they might ask for a campaign donation, and then ask you to volunteer to make phone calls. Each step makes the next one feel more natural. However, this principle can also be used for manipulation and is a cornerstone of what's sometimes called dark psychology. In unhealthy relationships, a partner might start with small, seemingly reasonable requests that slightly infringe on your boundaries. Can you just check in with me when you get there? This cascades into demands to share passwords, control who you see, and isolate you from friends and family. Each concession makes it harder to refuse the next, more controlling demand. Scammers also use this. They might ask for a small bit of personal information, then another, until they have enough to exploit you. They get their foot in the door with a seemingly harmless request and then escalate their demands. So, how do you protect yourself from being manipulated by the commitment cascade while still being open to positive opportunities? The key is awareness and mindful decision-making first. When you feel pressure to agree to a larger request, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, why am I really agreeing to this? Is it because I genuinely want to, or is it because I feel obligated by something I did earlier? Give yourself permission to disconnect the current decision from past ones. Second, questioned escalation. Does this bigger request truly align with my core values and goals? Or has the path I'm on drifted away from where I actually want to go? It's okay to have supported something on a small scale and decide not to support it on a larger one. Your values haven't changed. The request has. The most powerful defense is learning to say no early on. If a small, initial request feels even slightly off or uncomfortable, trust your gut. Breaking the cascade at the very first step is the easiest way to prevent it from starting. It's much less psychologically taxing to decline a small favor than it is to back out of a large commitment later. Remember, consistency for consistency's sake is not a virtue. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, a foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. True integrity lies in staying consistent with your authentic self, not with a string of past actions that may no longer serve you. The commitment cascade is a fundamental aspect of human psychology. It explains why small habits can lead to massive life changes and why initial agreements can snowball into major decisions. Understanding it gives you the power to use it for your own benefit, to build good habits and achieve your goals, and the wisdom to recognize when it is being used on you. Be mindful of the small yeses, and you'll maintain control over the big ones. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this breakdown of the commitment cascade insightful, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button for more dark dives into the psychology of everyday life. And let me know in the comments, have you ever found yourself in a commitment cascade? Share your story. See you in the next one.